Hi, my name's Chris Tomlinson. I'm here in Marlin, Texas. We're going to a town hall meeting with Martin Luther King III. He has brought his poverty tour to Marlin to help the community figure out what they can do to turn this town around. Marlin is among the poorest counties in Texas. 40% of the population lives below the poverty line. Most of that population is African American. The other problem Marlin is facing is a huge drop in its population. Over 50% of the people who lived here have moved out in the last 20 years. The people of Marlin are now trying to figure out how to stop this slow, steady decline into abject poverty. One of the community projects that's being suggested is the Bible Way Community Center. We're at the groundbreaking for the ceremony right now. One of the main funders behind it is Lori-Ann Tomlinson. She's the mother of San Diego running back LaDainian Tomlinson. She grew up in Marlin, and so did LaDainian, and they're trying to do something to make their town a better place.
All right, again, I'm going to try to talk as loud as I can. We want to welcome everybody to the groundbreaking for the Bible Way Life Center that will be here hopefully within the next year, a year to a half, given construction and a few other things we need to do. We've invited you all to come out and experience this celebration of change here in Marlin, Texas. We're so glad that Martin Luther King III was able to join us as they are doing their national listening and learning poverty tour with Marlin and East Waco, hoping that we can come together with some creative and innovative ways to change and rebuild Marlin back to its original luster. As you see here, we have different members from our community that are coming out, that are supporting this initiative. We are very grateful to Bishop Garrett and First Lady Garrett for sharing their vision with Marlin and being so committed to Marlin. So as we get ready to break the ground and everybody will actually put their shovels into the ground and try to do that first little dig of dirt, we want to congratulate them, congratulate Martin Luther King III in realizing the dream for their dedication to Marlin and to East Waco, and again, pray for them as they go forward. Again, if you don't have negative comments, let's have some positive comments. For a positive change, and on behalf of Empowerment Driven by Knowledge Coalition, we thank you all for being here and being such a blessing to this vision that we had. So let's give them a round of applause. And again, if everybody that has a shovel can kind of just put it down with that foot, I'm going to take this umbrella from the sheriff here. Thank you, sir. And on a count of three, if you need some help, those men should have enough muscle to have this. Oh, sorry. You need some help. A little muscle. I'm going to get out the way just a moment here. Okay. On the count of three, we're going to see if you can lift that shirt up. On the count of three, is everybody excited? 1, 2, 3.
I'm here at the Coach Carter Impact Academy, and this is where Martin Luther King III is going to meet with the community. They're going to have a chance to say what they think the community's problems are, what needs to be done, talk about what they want to do. These small towns are in such horrible shape, with very few agricultural jobs left, no industrial jobs to speak of. 18 companies have left Marlin. So it's kind of hard to see what can be done. But there's a lot of people here who love this town, and they're willing to do whatever's necessary to try to keep it alive.
We are here to listen to you because we believe that, number one, the entire dream of Martin Luther King Jr. has nowhere near been fulfilled. We made a monumental step last year in November when we elected our first African American president. But we are nowhere near the fulfillment of the dream of Martin Luther King Jr. Because in America, poverty still exists in rampant ways. And we've chosen as a society not to address that issue. In America, and I should say my father talked about the triple evils of poverty, racism, and militarism. Great strides in race, but we're still not there yet.
That's right.
Whether it's your community of Marlin, or whether it's even in some cases in my state of Georgia, or other communities in Texas and around the country. We still got work to do on racism.
That's right.
We're going to overcome it. Made one great step. But when we look at poverty, where the numbers continue to grow, and we look at militarism, where we're spending billions of dollars every month,
That's right.
and so we focus on death and destruction as opposed to life and the preservation of life.
I grew up here, and my parents called, so they thought we had money. They were struggling, like the rest of us. We did seasonal work just like the rest of the folks. But people are not doing seasonal work because something is wrong. And y'all know it.
There has been a lot that was said today, and I've been in different forums like this in the past, and I hope this is not one of those where we do all of this talking, and then after today it dissipates. Okay? I want to say that. I want to say, now I'm only going to address the area of education, and while I do have expertise in education, I don't have all the answers. But I do know a few things. And one of the things that I know is that the reason why these young people are not being successful in school, among a whole litany of reasons, but some of the reasons why is because we're not supporting them in the ways that we need to support them. And I'm talking about from the home. And I'm indicting you as parents. And I'm included in that as a parent. Because there have been many times that I've neglected my own children because I was at work. What I'm telling you all, as parents and as community members, it is so imperative that the schools receive your 100% support.
Listen to your children. Listen to your children. But the main thing is this: set expectations high. I had teachers come up to me and say, "I didn't know little Johnny could do this. I didn't know little Mary could do that." And that's because you set the expectations too low. Remember to keep Jesus first. And for me, if you even believe that we continue to work together, instead of just talking about the problems, yes, you need to know what the problems are, but start looking for solutions. And know that God never gives us a problem without also helping us get a solution.
Certainly in Marlin, you've taken a lot of steps over the years. What I hope is that this experience begins to reignite that process so that this community does truly function as one. So this is not about an ethnic group overshadowing or doing something. This is about a community that is comprised of blacks and whites and Latino and Hispanics, maybe Native Americans, maybe even Asian Americans. Whoever lives in this community has got to be willing to roll up their sleeves and say, we're going to take on these challenges. Our president already told us, either at the Democratic Convention or certainly at the inaugural, that while he represents all of us, he cannot govern without our input. Our communities cannot change and become what they ought to be without our input. There are a myriad of issues, as has been said. We know all of the problems, but we've got to work diligently on the solution.
That wraps up the Reverend King's visit to Marlin. The town hall meeting was short on specifics, and so was Reverend King, but at the same time, everyone agreed that they needed to keep working. Now I guess we'll see when the Realizing the Dream Foundation comes back and what work the local people are willing to do to try to turn this town around.